You use AI every single day, and every single day you do, you get slightly worse at thinking. Not because AI gives you the wrong answers, but because it gives you the right answers. Your brain only keeps the hardware it actually uses. And every skill you outsource, writing, deciding, navigating, remembering, the neural pathway maintaining that skill quietly starts to deteriorate. We've already seen this happen. When GPS went mainstream, researchers found that people who stopped navigating themselves lost measurable spatial reasoning. Not overnight, gradually, invisibly, until one day they genuinely couldn't find a way out without their phone. Google Maps did that to one skill, and you're now outsourcing hundreds of tasks. And truly, the uncomfortable part? Even people building AI describe using it narrowly for bounded tasks rather than judgment heavy thinking. They know something you don't. And that's what this video is about. Here's the thing about your brain that makes all of this matter. It's not a hard drive. It doesn't store everything you've learned permanently. Your brain is constantly doing its own maintenance. Pathways you use regularly get stronger, and pathways you stop using, brain treats it as wasteful overhead and starts pruning them back. Neurologists call this synaptic pruning, and it's actually one of the most elegant things about how the brain works. It optimizes for what you actually need. And the problem here is it generally can distinguish between a skill you don't need and a skill now you have outsourced to AI or something else. To your brain, those things look identical, which means every time you ask AI to do something you could have done yourself, you're not saving your mental energy, you're spending your neural real estate. And here's the most concrete example of this already happening. When was the last time you navigated somewhere without your phone? Just pure instinct. Actually got yourself from point A to point B with just memory alone. For most people, that answer is years ago. In 2020, researchers at University College London tracked spatial navigation ability in GPS users versus people who navigated manually. GPS users showed measurably reduced activity in the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for spatial memory. The skill degraded gradually until those people genuinely found it harder to walk around without using the GPS. Not because they never had the skill, but because they had stopped using it long enough for the brain to reassign that neural real estate. Google Maps did that to one skill in about a decade. Now think about what you're outsourcing to AI. How many things? Writing, researching, decision making, problem solving, generating ideas, or processing emotions. That's not one skill. That is most of the cognitive toolkit that makes you employable, capable, and interesting enough to talk to. And you might be thinking, oh, I'm still getting good outcomes. The work is getting done. And you're right. That's what the research actually shows. Students using AI assistants on assignment did get higher marks than the ones that are not using it. Better structure, better arguments, cleaner writing. But when those same students were tested on an independent task weeks later, no AI, same difficulty. The ones who had relied on AI previously scored way worse than the ones who didn't. The tool worked perfectly. The human got worse. And the students had no idea. They felt more capable. The feedback, better grades, faster outputs, was telling them they were improving. The signal was completely wrong, and it was coming from the tool itself. And here's why this is harder to catch than the GPS problem. When you stop navigating yourself, you at least knew or you had the idea that you have stopped outsourcing it, right? With AI, it's different because using it for complex tasks, the back and forth, refining, reading, and evaluating genuinely feels like you're thinking yourself. Trust me, I get it. But there is a meaningful difference between evaluating someone else's thinking and doing your own. Reading a well structured argument and producing one from scratch are two different things, not the same. And AI is specifically optimized through its training to produce the outputs that feel insightful and complete. The sensation of that's a good answer is a built-in feature. So you got the feeling of thinking without actually doing it. The mental equivalent of watching someone else's train and feel like you're trained. Remember what I said at the start? The people building these tools use them the least. Researchers, senior engineers, execs at high-tech companies, when surveyed, they consistently report using AI very narrowly than what most normal users do. Specific bounded tasks, grunt work, repetitive format. That's it. Not for thinking problems, not for generating ideas, and not for decisions. And when you ask them why, the ones who answer honestly say the same thing, but in a different version. They don't want to outsource the thinking because they know what happens when you do it. And you have to understand these are the people who deeply understand how these tools even work. And their conclusion is use it carefully or pay a price that you will notice it too late. And that's not hypocrisy, that's informed self-protection. So, where does this even leave you? The answer is not using AI, like stop using it. That's not realistic. Now, the world is about to be full of people who are very good at producing good results with AI. Fast, predictable, polished outputs that look like thinking. The scarce skill, the one that gets more valuable as AI gets better, is the ability to evaluate those answers, those AI answers, with genuine independent judgment. To know when AI is confidently wrong. Because trust me, it is a lot of times. To catch what is missing, to do the thinking it genuinely can replicate. And that skill is built through exactly the kind of effortful and uncomfortable cognitive work that AI is now making it easier to avoid. You don't want to do something, you can literally delegate the task to AI, almost anything. The heaviest AI users aren't using the skill, they're spending it. And I know right now, prompting is really pushed by almost every YouTuber, every online guru. Prompt this, get the best results, copy, comment this to get the prompt, comment that. There's a lot of things you can do to get the best prompt. But the people who matter in the next 10 years will be the people who never stop thinking for themselves. I know, delegate the task to AI. I'm not saying do every single thing, but carefully decide and think what you are actually offloading. This is the first video in the series about what AI is actually doing. Not to the tech industry, not to the government, but to us. The people using it every day without anyone explaining what we're actually trading. Next video is gonna be even bigger. What happens when entire countries start losing this same race? Not one, entire countries, all of them. And why the arms race that nobody can win might actually be over. Subscribe. That once is actually worth watching. I'm putting a lot of effort on that one. On my every single video, but that one is quite a bit. It's taking quite a toll on me, but trust me, it'll be one of the best videos you will ever watch. See you in the next one. Bye.